All right, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Fantasy Pavilion, and I am just the host or co-host, I should say, co-host of the of Javed Khan's scout picks. Is normally he normally does a weekly scout pick for all about FPL. You all should know who those guys are right now. They would have recently won bronze at the FCAs. So Javed, this is your show. Take it away. We are going to, of course, now of course, if you are pushing a product, you have to show off a little bit. So that is what we are going to do here right now. So Javed, we have it from since game week 14. You would have started this game week 14, or was it before that?
Now we actually started in game week 14. So I'm just gonna pull up my team here so I could we could go through the points we had. And Jared, since you said we sport in the festive season, came out with, the Grinch because my wife calls me the Grinch, so I'll go by it. So I mean, for this game week 14, the picks that would have stood out were the Madison, which returned 10 points, and Wilson, which returned 9 points. Those would have been the picks that most people would not have, and also Regulon with 12, Sa with 6. So that basically gave us that good score, boosting it to 84 points. And this was like the best debut we could have asked for in the scout picks. And yeah, so that's it for game week 14.
All right, game week 14. Nice. We have 15 here now.
Right, so for 15 again, Wilson with a goal. Son came in good. The Hay with a clean sheet. Gundogan returning some points. And off the bench, we had 8 Nuri. So that gave us a good score of 66. And all the scores we got so far were ahead of the official FPL scout. And they were a lot above average. So we could move on to game week 16 now. Game week 16 was another high-scoring game week for us. We had Ronaldo returning 9 points. We had De Gea with 10 points. We had a nice clean sheet from Tomiyasu. We had assists from Mount, Bernardo, and, well, the usual suspect, Salah, as the captain. And yeah, now we could go to the game week 17 where it becomes a bit interesting. So game week 17, we had Mount returning, Jota returning. We had Watkins with 12. And this was one of the game weeks that Watkins gave some returns. Foden gave some returns, but we went with Sterling instead, so we lost out. However, in the bench, we had Broha with 12, we had Markal with 6, and we had Diop with 1. So we got a whopping 19 points off the bench, which gave us 85 points in total. So that was a superb score.
Yeah, solid.
Right? And now we could go to game week 18. So game week 18, again, we were hampered by the postponement of the Aston Villa game. We had 3 Aston Villa players, Martinez, Cash, Watkins. So we really didn't recover that much from losing 3 players, 3 frontline players. However, the Cancelo, 18 points, Rafinha goal, a Sterling goal, Saka goal, all that helped. And we had Gelhardt from Leeds coming off the bench for us to give us a total of 61 points, which, again, was a decent showing.
Yeah.
Right, so now if you want, Jared, we can go to this week's picks.
Right, game week 19.
All right, so game week 19. So game week 19, we actually putting out a pretty strong bench with Broha facing West Ham. We're not certain if that game would go ahead, but I mean, this official team selection would be posted on All About FPL site. And this is just the tentative picks, subject to press conferences and changes. Obviously, we would aim to have the official thing a day before the deadline. So I'll start off with the bench. In the bench, we have Sanchez and Steele. So we're doing that double up. We have Broha. Broha has been in some nice form. And I am certain that he could get a return at West Ham, because West Ham right now, they don't have any type of defense. Their defense a lot of injuries. We have Gelhardt from Leeds as a bench fodder, and Ramsey from Aston Villa as another bench fodder, sorry.
Yeah.
So to start off with the defense, today we saw Reguilon playing in the Carabao Cup, so it shows that he is fit and he should start against Crystal Palace. And we know that with this system that Conte plays, Reguilon would be up and down the field, bringing in those crosses. He'd be highly attacking, so I could see him giving some attacking return, and I guess a clean sheet would obviously be a bonus for him. Then we have Trent. Well, we don't have to say anything about Trent. Trent is Trent. He is essential in FPL. Cancelo is also reaching essential status. He had that 18 points last week, so he, to me, is a must-have. And Leicester has been leaky in the back.
Correct.
We have Tsimikas, who is 3.8 million now, and he should replace the injured Robertson. So at that price, it's a no-brainer to bring him in. He served us well in the early games of the season, so he, to me, in this type of free hit pick, is a must-have. We have Tierney, who is actually in form. I guess you could tell us about Tierney. You're an Arsenal fan, so I'll throw this on to you.
No, Tierney is in great form right now. He had an assist recently, getting some pre-assists, and he's getting forward, and his crosses are actually penetrating the box. So yes, I will definitely endorse Tierney for sure.
Right. And in the midfield now, Foden was dropped last game, mate, because Foden wanted to party and that kind of thing. I mean, you can't blame the guy. He's a young guy. With COVID, he has to enjoy life. Yes. So hopefully all is forgiven with Foden, and Foden starts. This could be an easy toss-up between Jota, but seeing today that Jota played the full game in the Carabao Cup, I assume that he could be rested for this fixture against Leeds with a fully rested Salah and Mane. So that could easily be switched with press conferences if we think Pep hasn't forgiven Foden by this time. Salah, the Puma captain, Salah is Salah.
Yes, of course.
Salah, so I don't need to say anything about Salah. Son actually looked in decent form in the last game. He missed, I believe, 2 clear chances and scored 1. So I guess, Son could be back up to speed. He was rested in the Carabao Cup. And, Son is definitely one. I would think that, you get in the Son train early o'clock. Martinelli, he has been a revelation. And I must big up the Arsenal Academy. Right now, they're probably second to Chelsea in the Premier League in terms of academy prospects. And Martinelli, if he could stay healthy, if he could stay fit, if he could have a constant run in the team, he could very well develop into somebody. Especially with other boy Aubameyang, being who he is. I mean, I love Aubameyang as a player. I was following him since Dortmund, but when Arsenal was buying him, they know they was buying him with the attitude he has. So this is something you had to expect from Aubameyang, and I can see Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, and those guys doing well. And Ketia did well today in the Carabao Cup, so he should be fighting for a first team berth. And finally, to top it off, we have the GOAT, Ronaldo. Ronaldo, he was spotted in Carrington today in training, so I assume that he would be fit to start. And Newcastle has been leaky, and I expect Ronaldo to do well against them. So that rounds up the scout picks by FPL Daga FC, which would be posted officially. So this is subject to change, obviously, but you're getting it first and exclusive in the Fantasy Pavilion with Jared.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I like this pick. The only thing, our Pep wheel. So as you know, we started a Pep wheel last week. It picked Sterling last week, and this week you won't believe who it picked. It picked Gundogan this week.
Right? Okay. So let's see. Gundogan as the starter.
Yeah, Gundogan as our City asset, because normally we pick an asset from all the teams, and we see Pep wheel to pick, because you can't pick a City asset. Pep does whatever he wants. So we have this wheel, and the wheel pick Gundogan. So I see you have Foden, but Foden's a good shout because that's how you have to do it now, eh? If you didn't play it 2 weeks ago, you might play this game. So that's why.
Well, I mean, that's the safe way, the safest way to go with Pep, right? But I mean, Pep could hurt you. So
yeah.
We hope that all is forgiven with Foden because Foden is in my team. So I guess we could I don't know if you want to talk about some chip strategy now, seeing that we could have a possible well, we should have a double game week according to the spreadsheet guru Ben Krillin.
Yes. Krillin,
right?
Yes.
And today it was announced that we're gonna get additional free hit chip. So was your view on that before I give my views on it?
Well, I don't know why on Twitter melted down today and they were so upset. I like it because I it's Christmas. When else should you give a good gift than Christmas? And especially with all the COVID crisis and the points that we have we would not been able to get because players couldn't play. I like it, and it also makes things interesting, especially if AFCON goes on. Right? If AFCON is allowed to continue, I will definitely look at that time because I saw people are thinking of selling their assets like Salah, Dennis, and whatnot. I may not sell Salah, but it might be a good time to use it. And your team, Chelsea, posing some issues as well with the FIFA World Clubs. They will be missing 2 games soon. So that might be a decent time to use it. You never know. So I like it. I think it comes in very handy. Yeah.
So today, FPL Robert Ducky, he was having a space. So I jumped in and I spoke a bit. And my contribution to that space was why these so-called big content creators, why they're crying down the place about this free hit. Yes, you would have strategized using your free hit or saving your free hit for a later date. But I mean, it's across the board. Everybody's going to get a free hit. It's an equal playing field. So just re-strategize and move, So that was my contribution. And I find it's something good because you look at Twitter weeks before and everybody was saying, why we don't adopt the NFL policy, why we don't get some additional free transfers. Bam. Official FPL gives you a free hit and you're crying about it.
Yeah.
So I, for one, would support it. And according to Ben Krillin's spreadsheet, he has a proposed double game week in game week 22, a blank game week in 30, and a double game week in 36. So one of the strategies that I worked out, which could be helpful, and again, this is just my opinion for the time being because nothing is official right now. We could use the free hit 1 in double game week 22. We could use the free hit 2 in the blank game week 30.
Correct.
We can wildcard in game week 35 to set up our bench boost team for the double game week in 36. Right? So that's one strategy. And that's probably the strategy that I would lean to the most. The second strategy would be to wildcard in game week 21 to set up your bench boost team for 22. Free hit in the blank game week 30. And free hit 2 in the double game week 36. So I guess that's the best you could have it, guys. That's spelled out there. And either one of the strategies there would be most likely what I would be going with.
Yeah, solid. Yeah.
So you put any thought into it, Jared?
Not yet. As I said, I'm just looking at your fixtures when you all have to go FIFA World Clubs. So I'm looking at that because it may be a case where I have to get rid of all my Chelsea assets, which I didn't want to, but I'm thinking of maybe bringing in some key assets there. So that might be a time where I'm looking at that, and then as I said, AFCON might be a good time. So if I'm hit very badly, it may just be Salah, and I don't mind just waiting 2 weeks for Salah. That's not a terrible time to wait.
To me, Salah to Son is an easy transfer. And that might be one that I would consider if I don't use a chip because having a good chip strategy is one, but I mean, COVID is rampant.
That is it.
It's a festive season. People might want to go and party. They might want to see their family. And you could very well see a spike in the UK in mid-January when these games are due. So to me, I would probably say hold up and keep it to the wire. So I see we have a question from Shamir.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be worried wildcarding so early in Game Week 21? So much could change in a short space of time. Yes, Shamir, that is exactly what we were just saying before you asked the question. And it was two strategies I gave. So I don't know if you got the strategy one where we were just using the free hit. And yeah, so definitely hold your free transfers to the wire and let's see what happens, because Ben Curlin was also predicting that we could have a double game week in Game Week 21, and those fixtures were looking extremely mouth-watering.
Yes.
So if that stands, I would definitely free hit in Game Week 21.
For sure. Yeah. Right, so you like strategy one. Well, yeah. Well, that's why you didn't get it.
Yeah. Strategy one was the preferred strategy.
Yeah.
But strategy two is for the ones who have fires to put out and that kind of thing. But I remember one of our good friends, Obe Eid, who comes up in the FPL dialogue. He was saying that last year he finished around 463, I believe, and he played an early wildcard too. And that actually boosts his season. So don't write off playing the early wildcard. We usually keep it for that game week 36, 37, 35 kind of thing. But, I mean, it works for however you strategize. But definitely COVID is something to take into consideration.
Definitely.
All right, so Jared, I could probably go through my team, my personal team now, FC Dagger, for game week. For game week 19. So right now I'm at 1143 points.
Okay.
My OR is 141k, which isn't so bad, but it isn't where I want to be right now.
Correct.
But this is the time of the season when we usually pick up speed. This festive season, the back end of the season. Holding chips and strategies. So my goalkeeper, who I've been saving for so long, is Sanchez, because Sanchez would have some doubles coming up. So I have Sanchez, Alexander-Arnold, Reece James, Cancelo, Ben White as my back four. My midfield, I have Foden, Salah as captain, Jota, Saka as vice captain. And for my two forwards, I have King and Antonio. Now, in the press conference today, David Moyes said that it could be very possible that Antonio starts against Southampton, so he would be a hold for now. And on my bench, I have Rafinha, Watkins, Livramento. So right now, at this point in time, without listening to any press conferences, without hearing any COVID news, this is my boss team, and if I could leave it like this, I would leave it and roll the transfer. However, what I have in mind at this particular time is getting in Son and Broha, and getting in Son and Broha for either Foden or Jota, and to make way would be Watkins. So that would give me Son in the midfield, Broha on top. So if I have to make a transfer, it will be a -4 to have that done. Other than that, I would like to roll the transfer.
Yeah.
What about you, Jared?
I'm in the same predicament where I'm rolling my transfer. So just now. I don't know. Seeing as I'm here, I can do it really quickly. So this is me here for now, right? So I've had SAR since Lord knows when.
That SAR pick was cool. It really turned out well. So kudos to you.
Yeah.
And I know Obe was one of the first persons that signed his team, so that was really good.
Yeah, I had SAR since our game week 2 probably. Maybe that week, game week 2, and then you would have had that mad week with the 14 points against Southampton. Of course, Trent, must have Trent, always start Trent. Cody, as another one, FPL Newman and I always have a fun back and forth about Cody. Right, so you see us tweeting about it sometimes. I always have to around him. And Cody has been getting bonus points for the past few game weeks. Of course, James is someone that remember I would have called you until I'm thinking of selling James. James is still on my sell list for now. but I'm keeping him. Aston Villa might be a decent, but a decent game to get some points. Of course, Cancelo regular. I had regular since game week 1. I'm one of the few that are holding on to Rafinha. I'm not frightened of the fixtures. He's still scoring goals. He may get a pen, especially with the inexperienced defense that Liverpool have to put up without Van Dijk. Of course, always Captain Salah, Bernardo, McGinn, and Watkins. Now, McGinn and Watkins were the last minute buys last week before I found out about the whole last game. Sorry, about that the COVID scare and they couldn't play. And of course, this is my bench. Tentative for now. I may switch it up.
Yeah, I definitely see some fires with the McGinn, Watkins.
Yes.
Yeah, so to me, I think in midfield needs a fix.
Yeah.
And definitely a forward. Maybe it would be a good time to bring in Ronaldo for Vardy. I don't know how you feel about that, but if I were you, I would.
You know how I feel about that.
I'm
not a big Ronaldo player, so you know how I feel about that. But I mean, it's about points. So points at the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's points you're playing for. If you don't like somebody, well.
Yeah. Bring in
that after. Yeah.
Because I was banking on last week. Villa had a decent game, so that's why I brought in those two guys last week. But of course, they didn't get to play the game. So yeah. So now I'm in a rut there.
I know you remember the quote, when in doubt.
Yeah.
Roll the transfer.
Roll the transfer. Yeah, I'm gonna roll it. I'll keep Watkins. And I may switch his formation up and maybe play 3-5-2, and I will I'll play Fred and I'll play Vardy, and maybe as I said, maybe bring in someone.
What's your points total right now, Jared?
Oh, so right now I am. So it's 1161 and I'm 79,048K right now.
All right, so we are at game week 19. I am giving you 5 game weeks for me to catch up to you.
Well, all right. By then, I keep in 51 for you safe, and I am the 50. No problem. I keep it safe there.
Right. So, Jared, you have any questions for me?
So, so before you go, right? So that is that's your 11 that you're proposing here for the game week. We also do we do something called a mental 11. So I want you to just take a look at our 11.
So are we going to do a challenge this game week?
Yeah, we could do a challenge. I like that idea. We could do a challenge. So this is but it might interlock. Now, the only thing with my 11, you may see certain key players missing. Right? Your Salah, your Trent. Now, this 11 is more proposed as technically a transfer 11. Right? So these are the guys that we look at that will potentially perform well for the upcoming game week, and that you should probably try to bring in, not just for that game week, but and especially as the game week is so tight. So game week 19 and 20, these might be the best guys to bring in. So what do you think about this 11 as a transfer 11 more?
Right. So definitely, as a transfer 11, I like the Brighton defender.
Yeah.
I don't like Cody because I don't think he has the best fixtures, and he is in Dublin. Tsimikas could be a good short-term pick.
Yeah, short-term.
Right?
Yeah.
De Gea definitely is a good pick because they will be Dublin. Martinelli, definitely a good pick. Jota, as I said, he could be rested this weekend, but with Salah going to AFCON and whatnot, it should be a semi-decent pick, but definitely not for now, maybe for the other game weeks.
Yeah.
Gundogan, I probably would not go to Gundogan because of the uncertainty. Son, definitely yes, because he would be Dublin also. Kane and Ronaldo, yes, because of their fixtures coming up. They have some good fixtures. Lacazette, I would probably go more to the cheaper Arsenal midfielders who are matching him right now, like the Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka. So yeah, that's me.
Even yes, sir. Yeah. Well, I said the Gundogan is only there because our wheel picked him, so we put him back in the
right. The wheel picked him. Yes.
So we want to see what the wheel would say after that. Shamir is fighting me. Why Fred? Trust him to score points with Newcastle. I had Fred before. I had him in his last end of his patch. The last end of his little patch. So I just kept him. And yeah, Newcastle, But I thought he would have done some. Who is it? There was supposed to be someone else that was decent on. I thought he would have gotten some points. So yeah, I'm gonna keep Fred. Maybe I'll roll him a bit. Yeah. Well, yeah, Javid. That's it there for me on my end. We could What I would like to do with you really quickly, I want you to pick 4 of your best players from game week 19, and we'll match them up against our four of my players here from my team here. Right? We could do a 4. So when I say 4, your keeper, one defender, one mid, and one striker. And we do a
All
nice
right.
little challenge.
So,
Yeah.
right. So let me go back to the Dagger Scout picks. So I'm
Right.
pulling up that team now. And so you say, okay, so you go first, right? With your goalkeeper, I will go after.
Right. So they
So
here.
I'm giving you first pick,
No
Jared.
problem, right? So we do what right. So so I obviously have the hair up, so we'll go with the hair.
Right. So I will go with Sanchez.
Right, solid. And I will pick. I will stick with Cody. Cody has been backing me up really well. I'll go with Cody. Can get a little bonus points again this week. I'll go with Cody.
Well, then you're making it easy for me, Gerald, because I have Regular, Trent, and Cancelo to pick with.
Yeah, go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
I would go with the least favored one. I'll go with Tierney.
All right,
Just to
that's
make it
solid.
just to make
Yeah,
it a little even for
that's
you.
solid. That's solid. All right. Midfield. Let me see if I can challenge you nice here in the midfield. Well, they can't go wrong with Martinelli, especially with the fixture that they have. You can't go wrong with Martinelli.
Yeah, definitely. I can't go wrong with Martinelli, but I would go just to challenge you. I'll go with Son.
Right? That's a good challenge. I like that. That's a good matchup. Very good matchup. And I will go. Went against all my judgment and my body, but I'll go with Kane. I'll go with
All
Kane.
right. Well, I had to go with somebody matching that price point and level of superiority, so I'll go with the goat Ronaldo.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good show. So what I'll do, I'll make a nice graphic for this and we'll post up on Twitter. And we'll a 4 versus 4, a 4 aside. We'll call it something catchy. And we'll see how we do at the end of the game week, right? So Javed, any closing remarks? This is your show, so any closing remarks or any advice you want to give before we close off? And of
Well,
course,
again,
where can people find you, of course, and show off who you write for, everything, the good company that you keep, sir.
right. So definitely, I will. Jara did a nice quote. Javed Khan, when in doubt, roll the transfer. So that's my advice to you.
Yes.
With these blanks coming up, if you could save your transfer, go ahead and save it. Wait till the last minute. Listen to those press conferences and get the information. Don't be early in transferring people. Price rises are not essential right now. Essential is getting to know who would have fixtures.
Correct.
Well, you can find me at FPL Daga FC. I do these scout picks for All About FPL, and I do articles from time to time for FPL Hints, for All About FPL, and for Premier Fantasy Tools. And with that being said, I just want to do some shout outs. So I'd like to shout out the speakers from the FPL Dialogue. So I do a spaces called the FPL Dialogue. We were probably the first space to have a international footballer, Kenwin Jones. So that's a first for this Twitter community. And I want to big up the speakers like Dan Bennett, Obi Eid, Nima, Andy Martin, Pras, FPL Robert Ducky, Dano, Gabe. So those are some of the guys who come in from time to time on the show. I'd like to big up my buddies from the OFB crew, Johan, Kwan, my favorite YouTuber, FPL Mate, the guys at All About FPL, Srini, Surya, my good friend Varun. And I'd like to mention a lot of guys who gave me a lot of help when I started this FPL journey back in August of this year. I had little or no followers, and they still gave me opportunity to write for them, and they gave me good support. Ash from FPL Hints, Mark from Premier Fantasy Tools, and FPL Goat. And well, lastly, I want to thank you, Jared, for having me on your show.
Yeah, I want to thank you. You're on top of my big up list. It'll have to be you, Javed. Thank you so much for your support. Thanks for coming through. You always since that night on Twitter, the Twitter space and of yourself, you just approach on me and get it off, and you always been giving some great advice. Your phone has always been open for me 10 in the night, 11 in the night, right? When we discussing picks. So thanks so much, bro. Thank you very much, man. And of course, guys, please look out for his Twitter Spaces, as he said, FPL Dialogue weekly, right? I don't know how you're doing it this week with all the craziness.
Nah, we'll probably do one next week. Yeah, from between the 27th or 30th, around there. And guys, remember to give the FPL, the Fantasy Pavilion, a follow. Subscribe. Jared is one of the most up and coming guys on YouTube. He has a passion. He has a heart of gold for this thing, and is this passion that has me supporting Jared so much. And I will always big him up. I will always support him. I'll always try to push his work. So guys, come and give him a subscribe. You can't get better than Jared right now.
Taking that, and we're signing off there with that, guys. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, be safe, green arrows to everyone. Always click that save button, and happy picking. Take care, guys.
Season's greetings, everybody.
Yes.